Have you ever wondered if you have inherited an employee filing system that's a hot mess? Or you probably already know that your filing system and your record keeping system is out of order, it may be incompliant, and you know it's a hot mess. Well, hi, my name is Kimberly Benjamin. I'm the HR compliance coach, and I'm here today to share with you some of the questions that my clients ask me regarding how do we keep our employee records safe? How do we keep them compliant with employment laws? And so I wanted to come out here today and let's talk about those employee files, those employee records, that filing cabinet that a lot of you probably really don't want to have. We're going to talk about the importance of having those things and the main reasons why you should have a compliant record and timekeeping system, okay? So my question again is, are your employee filing system in compliant? Is it a hot mess? And if you're wondering if it is, we're going to give you some tips to go over that as well. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot of you know that I travel all over the world conducting human resource compliance seminars, helping my clients with staying compliant and staying legal with employment laws. I get asked in our seminars, is Kimberly, do we really need to have a record system? And you keep talking about these files, you keep talking about these folders. Why are they important to us? Why do we need to have them? And I'm glad you asked because we're going to talk about that today. First of all, it's really important that you do have a secure record system in place. You need to keep your employees' documents safe and secure. You need to make sure that people aren't able to get access to it. Those managers, other people that really don't need to know that information, it's important that you have that stuff on lockdown, as I call it. Did you know that 75% of identity theft happens in the workplace? 75% of identity theft happens in the workplace. So it's important that you're doing the right things that you need to do to keep your employees' documents safe, keep them secure, and keep them compliant with employment laws. Now, I often get asked, well, Kimberly, why do we have to separate things? Why is this so important? And the reason is because all of those different documents that are in that filing system, in that folder, in that filing cabinet, each piece of paper, each document is actually closely aligned with an employment law that you must stay compliant to. So if you have documents out of order in the wrong location, in the wrong place, etc., you could make yourself and your company incompliant with those employment laws. So that's why it's really important that you get this right. I know sometimes we don't want to think about paperwork, we don't want to think about filing systems, but that's a part of HR. And I know I'm talking to business owners, business professionals, HR professionals. We already know that documentation, right? And paperwork falls along with what we have to do on a daily basis. So it's extremely critical that you understand what documents need to be in the folders, which documents should not be in there, how many records, how many filing systems, how many folders do you need to have per employee, where should that information be stored, and how do you properly secure those documents. So again, it's critical that we get this right. Another question I get asked often from my clients regarding documentation is, why do we need to be compliant? Why is this a big issue? Seriously, how much does it cost? You know, can I go more years without even handling this, without tackling this? And the answer is you really should not play, I don't say Russian roulette, but you really should not play chance, because you could be sued and your company could be sued, and you never know when that audit pops up. It seems like whenever you're not ready for an audit is when you have it. So it's important that you get in the habit now of making sure that your documents are safe and secure, that you know that all of your employees' records and their filing systems have the right information in there, so that if you ever get audited, you literally have 3 to 4 days to be able to be prepared so they can come in and check out your systems. And I tell you, you don't want to be at the end of that type of audit when you're not prepared, you're rushing around, because you know 9 times out of 10 you're going to forget something, you're going to miss something, and then that auditor knows that you're not compliant, that you're not ready. Now, another reason why a lot of people ask me about being compliant with employment laws as relates to your employment records is because if you ever get audited, and that auditor comes up to you and says, I want us to select 10 random people, and for some reason, however you guys figure out who are the random employees files that's going to be audited for that particular audit, you know, you're excited, you get those folders, you think that you have everything that you need, right? You gather all your files and you give it to that auditor and you say, here are my records. Now you have to keep in mind that that auditor knows what should be in that folder and what should not be in that folder. And that's another reason why it's important that your filing systems are legal and are compliant, because once you give that folder to that auditor, the auditor now opens up that file and the auditor looks at it and goes, wow, and they see all the documents that are in there, and they're sitting there and they're making notes. They're writing down notes, going, that's illegal, and then they write down notes. They may not tell you all the documents that they're looking at, but I tell you one thing, you'll find out about it quickly, because what you're doing is you're opening yourself up and your business up for more audits, more fines, and more fees. So while they're going through that record system and they're taking those notes and writing those notes down, you're just opening yourself up for more scrutiny. So that's why it's imperative that you get this right and that you're prepared before you ever get audited. Because I tell you, those audit fines can be very hefty. They can range from thousands to dollars, and then with lawsuits and all that can range to millions. So you want to make sure that you are being legal and that you are being compliant with employment laws as it relates to your employee records. Now, I will give you this one little nugget though. This one little nugget. It's important when you're looking at your filing systems that you are using tools and resources, and that you know when you can actually discard that paperwork. Now, how many of you know when you can discard paperwork? How many of you know when you can let go of payroll documentation, let go of medical documentation, family medical leave paperwork, etc.? It's important that you know those deadlines and you know how long you can hold on to them. As well as it's important that anything that's around that record and timekeeping system, as I call it, it's important that you are legal and compliant. Now, one of the things that I do with my clients is that I conduct HR compliance audits with them, because a lot of people say, Kimberly, I don't know. I don't think our system's right. And so it's important that you have an audit that you can go through that's voluntary and that sets you up so that you are compliant and that you are legal, so that you don't have to pay those hefty fees. But more importantly, you have a top-notch HR department, a top-notch business, and your record and filing system is excellent, which is great. So another tip that I'll give you regarding your record systems and your paperwork that I often get asked, people go, well, why are the reasons why I should do this? What are the 5 main reasons? And I'm going to give you the 5 main reasons. You may want to write this down, because it's important that you understand and start evaluating, wait a minute, do I need to be audited? Do I need to have a voluntary audit? Do we need to have somebody come and check out our filing system? Because you really, really know in the bottom of your heart that you do have a record keeping system that's a hot mess. I like saying that, because when I mention that in seminars, hands go up. People go, yep, Kimberly, I know I've inherited a record system, keeping system that's a hot mess. And if that's you, it's important that you do act now. You do something about it. So here are 5 reasons why you should have a legal and compliant record keeping system. Number 1, it's important that you're very organized. As I've mentioned earlier, you never know when that audit's going to come, so it's important that you are prepared for that audit. Okay, so be organized and prepare for that audit. Number 2, it's important that you don't be stressed out. We know what happens when we're stressed out, right? We miss some things. We jump some steps. We don't go through our checklist. We make some mistakes. And I tell you, you don't want to make a mistake while you're being audited. That's the reason why they're there, is to catch all of those mistakes. So it's important that you're at peace, you're comfortable, you have confidence knowing that you've done everything you could and that your filing systems are legal and are compliant. And being audited and participating in a voluntary audit can be a way that can help you with that as well. The third reason why you should have legal and compliant filing systems is because you need to be prepared for that audit. I mentioned that already. You literally have days whenever you get audited to be prepared and hand over your information, or that person comes on site and then evaluates you, and I want to make sure that you are prepared for that. Reason number 4, it's important that you recognize that you save money. You save money now. Now, we know sometimes people say, well, actually, my best friend Tess says all the time, you always pay for something. You either pay on the front end or you pay on the back end, right? So I submit to you this, that you want to be prepared for an audit, because if you're not prepared for it, you're going to be paying on that back end of it. Meaning there's going to be fines, there's going to be fees, there's going to be more audits you're going to have to go through. And if your systems within your company, your environment as well, your policies and your procedures are not compliant, then that also trickles over to your employees. And if they're not happy and they feel discriminated against, then there could be possible lawsuits as well, which are more fines and more fees. So again, like I said, my best friend always tells me, you either pay on the front end or you pay on the back end. And so my goal as your HR compliance coach is to make sure that I'm working with you so that you're able to be prepared for an audit and that you know your systems are in place. And then that last reason, reason number 5, it really is important that your records are safe. What did I mention early in this training video here? What's that percentage again of people, a percentage of identity theft that happens in the workplace? Can anybody remember? Remember what that was? 75%. 75%. And whenever I mention that, people are shocked. They go like, seriously? Yes. So it's really important, you business owner, you HR professional, your business professional, that record system that you have, that it is compliant with employment laws, that it is safe, it is secure, and that people aren't able to get in there and get access to the Social Security numbers, to the date of birth information, to the contact information, to the I-9 forms. All of that stuff should be really safe and secured, legal, and compliant. And so I just wanted to come out today. Again, my name is Kimberly Benjamin, your HR compliance coach, just reminding you all to ensure that you do have legal and compliant record-keeping systems as well. You need to make sure that you are legal and that you are compliant. Either you're going to pay on the front end or pay on the back end. And my goal is that you're able to pay on the front end by recognizing, hey, Kimberly, I do want to make sure that our company record systems are legal and compliant. And for those of you that may say, Kimberly, you're saying, okay, I'm glad that I've watched this video. I already know that our record keeping system is a hot mess. I need somebody to come and conduct a voluntary audit. And you're interested, feel free to click the link in this video so that we're able to schedule a quick 15-minute discovery call, so I'm able to learn a little bit more about your needs, understand a little bit more about your HR compliance issues and concerns, to see how our organization can help you to stay legal and to stay compliant. So this is Kimberly Benjamin, your HR compliance coach, inviting you to make sure that you look at those records and your record keeping and filing system, making sure that it is compliant so that you're able to have an environment, have some structure, have some order in your organization, but more importantly, having the confidence, knowing that your systems are legal and compliant. So until next time, you all stay legal, stay compliant. And I look forward to speaking with you during our discovery call. Bye-bye.